also started contributing as a big area of opportunity. So certainly big numbers.
Yeah, so I think in isolation you look at that number, it seems great, but when you then put that number in the context, I think this is where we see a slightly different perspective. And I'm still getting.
James, I think your mouse is getting on top of the menu button, or maybe have me change the slides, and maybe if I drive it, that will keep the flashing from going.
Okay, well, we should be on slide 10. Thanks, Michael. So looking at slide 10, here you have more context to the discussion. And while we've all seen, I think, this important analysis from Mary Meeker at Kleiner Perkins, I think it's a great way to articulate or show that although things are positive and moving north for the industry, there's an awful lot of headroom for us. When you look on the far right at that light blue bar, clearly there's room to further exploit the mobile opportunity. In fact, you can see we have a huge ceiling, probably in the range of $10 billion left of headroom in mobile advertising based on just the consumer time and energy in the channel. And I think the other illustration here that I think is very telling is the difference between internet, which is essentially desktop, and mobile itself. And I think we'll talk a lot about, especially Ann has great perspective on, the differences between internet and mobile and how it is that we have to treat mobile differently and approach it differently and can't just replicate what we've done on internet to fully exploit the opportunity.
Yeah, and let me ask you a question. We just had a question come in on this. Is this additional $20 billion additive, or is it taking away?
Yeah, Dan, do you want to take a shot at that? I have an opinion, but you may have better data on that.
Sure. At the end of the day, marketers have got to figure out where their budgets are going to go to have the most effective returns on the back end. And there's not just going to be another $20 billion of marketing available at the top level from all the brands. So there has to be some level of redistribution of budgets between channels, right? And you can look at the left side of the screen where, it looks like too much budget right now is actually funneling into print and radio, right? And what Mary Meeker is really pointing out here is that, it's an expectation that spending in those channels will certainly decline, right, as you move over to more and more of these digital media channels.
Yeah, and I think that's right. I agree it's going to be a shift. What I think more specifically, though, the shift, I agree, when you look in print and radio, is probably going to be, or even direct, other sort of venues like direct hard marketing, print asset marketing. I think